Ballad of Salvation Bill by Robert Service. 'Twas in the bleary middle of a hard-boiled Arctic night. I was lonesome as a loon. And so if you can imagine my emotion of amazement and delight when I bumped into that missionary dude. He was lying lost and dying in the moon's unholy leer and frozen from toes to fingertips. The famished wolf pack ringed him, but he didn't seem to fear as he pressed his ice-bound Bible to his lips. 'Twas the limit of my trap line with a cabin miles away, and every step was like a stab of pain, but I packed him like a baby, and I nursed him night and day till I got him back to health and strength again. So there we were, benighted in the shadow of the pole, and he might have proved a priceless little part if he hadn't started worrying about my blessed soul and a-quoting me his Bible by the yard. Now, there I was, a husky guy whose God was nicotine, with a coffin nail, a fixture in my mug. I rolled them in the pages of a pulpwood magazine, and I hacked them with my jackknife from a plug. For oh, to know the bliss and glow that good tobacco means, just live among the everlasting ice. So judge my horror when I found my stack of magazines was chewed to chowder by the mice. A woeful week went by, not a single pill I had. Me that would smoke my 40 in a day. I sighed, I swore, I strode the floor, I felt I would go mad. The gospel plugger watched me in dismay. My brow was wet, my teeth were set, my nerves were rasping raw, and yet that preacher couldn't understand. So with despair I wrestled there, when suddenly I saw the volume he was holding in his hand. Then something snapped inside my brain, and with an evil start, the wolfman in me woke in rabid rage. I saved your lousy life, says I. So show you have a heart and tear me out a single page. He shrunk and shriveled at my words. His face went pewter white. 'Twas just as if I'd handed him a blow. And then he seemed to swell and grow to heaven's height, and in a voice that rang, he answered, "No." I grabbed my loaded rifle and I jabbed it to his chest. "Come on, you shrimp, give up that book," says I. Well, sir, he was a parson, but he stacked up with the best, and for grit I gotta hand it to the guy. "If I should let you desecrate this holy word," he said, "my soul would be eternally accursed. So go on, Bill, I'm ready. You can pump me full of lead. And take it, but you're gonna have to kill me first." Now, I'm no foul assassin, though I'm full of sinful ways, and I knew right there the fella had me beat. For yet a yellow mongrel in the glory of his gaze, and I flung my foolish firearm to his feet. Then wearily I turned away, sat upon my bunk, and there I lay and blubbered like a kid. "Forgive me, pard," I said at last, "for acting like a skunk, but hide that blasted rifle," which he did. He also hid his Bible, which is maybe just as well, for the sight of all that paper gave me pain. And there were crimson moments when I thought I'd go to hell for a single cigarette again. And so I lay day after day and brooded dark and deep until one night I thought I'd end it all. Though rough, I roused the preacher, where he stretched pretending sleep, with his map of horror turned towards the wall. See here, my pious pal, says I, I've stood it long enough. Behold, I've mixed some strychnine in a cup. Enough to kill a dozen men. Believe me, it's no bluff. Now watch me, for I'm gonna drink it up. You've seen me bludgeoning by despair these bitter days and nights, and now you'll see me squirming as I die. You're not to blame. You played the game according to your lights. But how would Christ have played it? Well, goodbye. And with that I raised the deadly drink and laid it to my lips, but he was on me like a tiger bound. And as we locked and reeled and rocked with wild and wicked grips, the poison cup went crashing to the ground. Don't do it, Bill, he shrieked. Maybe I acted wrong. See, here's my Bible. Use it as you will. But promise me you'll read a little as you go along. You do? Then take it, brother. Smoke your fill. And so I did. I smoked and smoked from Genesis to Job, and as I smoked, I read each blessed word. While in the shadow of his bunk, I heard him sigh and sob, and then a peculiar thing occurred. I got to reading more and more and smoking less and less, till just about the day his heart was broke, says I, Here, take it back, me lad. I've had enough, I guess. Your paper makes a mighty rotten smoke. So then and there, with plea and prayer, he wrestled for my soul, and I was racked and ravaged by regret. But God was good, for lo, next day there came the police patrol with paper for 1,000 cigarettes. So now I'm called Salvation Bill. I teach the living law and ballyhoo the Bible with the best. And if a guy won't listen, why, sock him on the jaw and preach the gospel sitting on his chest.